Recording in progress.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the briefing for Thursday, the 18th of July. Okay, so looking at the synoptic today, we can see high pressure is just centered over to the east over the continent. We're in this area here to the west of it. We've got a cold front on the way from the west, but if we roll this forwards to overnight tonight, it's a little bit closer, and then by midday tomorrow, it hasn't actually moved much closer, showing as a weakening feature, so that's not really going to affect us too much. But we've got a light southerly flow today, starting off from the east very slightly, at height a bit more from the west, and possibly going around a bit more to the west later on. Continuing on tomorrow, similar picture. Saturday, looking at potentially a little bit more unsettled. They've got a trough line on here and more fronts and low pressure systems moving our way. And similar picture for Sunday and Monday, potentially more unsettled with more low pressure systems moving in. So spot winds today at midday, it's showing 200 at 15 or 10 to 15 knots. So ever so slightly west of south. But at ground level, it will be a little bit more east than certainly this morning, a little bit more east. Yeah, sat pic, you can see the cloud reducing as the sun's come out, looking clearer up to the north, and that's probably where the better story is going to be, quite a lot cloudier down to the south. And it looks like you can see that massive cloud to the west associated with that cold front. Rainfall forecast then, some up to the northwest, again associated with that front, and there is a little bit down to the south, actually quite close to us at the moment. If we just run through the rainfall forecast, you can see it's predicting that stuff to the south to disappear almost straight away and going throughout the day. Interesting, showing a few little very light bits coming up from the south towards us, but unlikely to get anywhere near us by the looks of it. Going into later into the afternoon, similar picture, but generally it looks like the weather is worse to the south of us, so most of soaring, I think it's going to be north. Public forecast then at Lasham showing sunny intervals with the top temperature of about 23 or 24 degrees, so actually quite nice for once. Wind direction generally from the southeast, going round a bit more to the south later in the afternoon, and gusting up to about mid-teens. Highest here is about 17. Good visibility and a pretty high UV index. GFS showing about 23, 24 at most in our area. A couple of degrees cooler to the north, about 22s. Down into the West Country, 20s, 22s, so even cooler again. Dew points, about 16 in our area, so relatively high actually. Ever so slightly less as you go north, 14, 12 if you go right way up north. And down towards the south coast, much the same really, 15, 16s. That was a view outside about 20 minutes ago. Looks like that's Ken there walking his dogs. Let's give that a refresh, hasn't changed very much. You can see the windsock pretty much completely limp at the moment. Currently, just give this a refresh, 17 degrees at Lasham, dew points of 14. You can see those two starting to separate just about now. Odium's forecast, 3 knots from the east. Few at 200 feet, really? Okay. Broken at 13,000 forecast, 4 knots from the east. I don't know why they're saying few at 100 feet and missed, but becoming... this is a bit odd, becoming between 8 and 10, visibility 10k or more. Okay, your potential flight distance on top Meteo is as shown. Actually showing a little bit better to the west of Lasham there. Noticeably worse as soon as you go even slightly south of Lasham. And looking reasonable up to the north, although there is a sort of gap here around Booker area where it's showing it to not be quite as good. We run through thermals for the day. 10 o'clock, not a lot, maybe 11, 12. Convection to about 3.5, 4,000 feet with cloud. Going into the afternoon, looks like Lasham's right on the edge of this blue and much less good area and the better area to the north. 1,400 meters here, so 4,000 feet. Cumulus. Continuing on, that's 2 o'clock, 3, 4. It's showing it bluing out from the south. And if we go to 5 o'clock, you can see that's stretching quite a long way inland. So Potentially a deterioration mid-afternoon, according to this forecast anyway. Looking better up to the north, 14, 15, 1600 meters still. Sky sight then, in our area, again, showing us to be right on the edge of a better area to the south, better area to the north and a worse area to the south. Showing reasonable out to the west and also reasonable up to the north, slightly west of north as you go past sort of Bryce area. Really good in London as always. Let's look at a point forecast then for Lasham. So showing a little bit of a slow start, 2 to 3 knot thermals by about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and going until about 3:30 where it blues out by the looks of it, and thermal strength then reducing to about 2.5 knots, and really not that much left by about 5:30, 6 o'clock. But according to this, blue at Lasham from 3:30. If we go a little bit further north, let's just go up here, just sort of Oxford East area. So you see lasting much longer, cumulus until about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and thermal strength stronger throughout the whole day, 3.5 knots, and still 2 and a bit knots at about 5:30. So better to the north and possibly a little bit better out to the west as well. We'll just have a look out there. Badminton over there. Yeah, but actually looking pretty good. 3.7 knots here showing, and cumulus until probably 6 o'clock. So that potentially looking like quite a good area, which may save us going north today, which will be nice. So NOTAMs, lots today. The REAT is on, and they've got their restricted area temporary. Looking at this, you can see it's contains the Bryce zone. It's surface to flight level 85, so you can't go above or below it. But it extends down to the south. It includes Sandhill Farm, the northern edge of Swindon. It includes South Zerney, Aston Down, Kemble. So quite a big area here. Sorry about that. And as well as that today, for an extra little bit of fun, we have this. There's some political conference or something around Oxford. So there's this restricted area temporary, just slightly west of Oxford, surface 2,500. That's all day, Blenheim Palace, quite small, 1.5 nautical mile radius. But they have got this much bigger bit of airspace here, and this sort of connects up with the REAT, restricted area temporary. It's going to make coming back from the north quite difficult. So I'm just going to double check this. Between 05:30 and 9:30 this morning, so that's not going to affect us, and then between 1500 Zulu and 21:30 Zulu today. So that means 4 p.m. onwards, all of this airspace is unusable. So that includes Western on the Green, Abingdon, and quite close to the town of Oxford. If it, no, sorry, it includes the town of Oxford. So if you stay, Bista's just about clear. If you stay to the flight to the 5,500 airspace to the east of this, and just about this flight level 65 plus airspace, you will be clear. But please be really careful of this coming back from the north. Remember 4 p.m. onwards. There is also one more today, although I don't think it's going to get in the way too much. Just to the north of Bryce, there's a Shrivenham air display, and that's a 6 nautical mile radius. So don't go, if you're going to go north, don't then follow around to the west too tight up against Bryce. In order to avoid getting stuck, I'd recommend if you're going a long way north, just stay east of the Birmingham airspace and go in that direction the whole way. Don't go between Bryce and Birmingham, if that makes sense. Okay, that's that. Very busy today. Otherwise, there's not a lot on here. Farnborough Air Show next week. They may be flying in aircraft, so please keep a good lookout in the general area. Okay, setup. It's going to be 09. Launch point in the normal position. Winch cables will probably be offset down to the pan or somewhere down here. Winch cables on the right-hand side or the south side of the gliders. Club aerotows from the northern edge of the runway. We will set up a grid on the north side. Please be conscious. It's going to be very warm later, and you're going to have very limited headwinds. So please think about how much water, if any, you're taking. If you are heavy, please bring your glider to the runway So really only single seaters or sort of very light two-seaters on the grid today. Otherwise, please come to the runway. Okay, all 5 K21s are serviceable today. We have 2 K13s, 3 baby grobs now. SH7 came back yesterday, and all 3 discuses. Any notices? So yeah, really careful of those node tabs around Bryce. It is going to make going north quite difficult today. And remember that one from 4 p.m. onwards if you're coming back late from the north. No movement scheduled. Please make sure we keep working on the ground handling. That's been improving, but please make sure if you're going to be driving buggies or using any of the club kit, including the club gliders, you read that before you come out today. And the simulator is serviceable as ever. Okay, looks like a fun day. I'll see you out there. Bye for now.